Hey everyone, so welcome back to the channel. If you are returning and if you're new, then welcome. This is week 5 of our spring planting series, and if you've been following along, then I am thanking you and I appreciate you for your support. So this week is, like I said, week 5. And the last frost dates that I'm going off of are Mother's Day. Even though the Farmer's Almanac gave me a last frost date of April 28th, I usually use Mother's Day as a rule of thumb. So these are estimated frost dates. They're always estimated frost dates. Nothing is ever set in stone. So you have to really just gauge your own weather and be mindful of what your climate is like, okay? So let's get into it. This is for zones 5 and 6 with an estimated frost date of 4/25 for zone 6. The things that we're going to be planting indoors can be basil and bok choy. Everything else should have been started already, and if not, then they probably can be direct sowed. So with that being said, if you want to plant outside under a single cover of protection, you can put beets, bok choy, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, chives, dill, endive, horseradish, oregano, potatoes, radicchio, radish, rutabaga, salsify, sorrel, Swiss chard, and turnips. All of those things can go outside under a single layer of protection. I have explained in previous videos what single layer, double layer, all of that is, so I'm not going to go into that. But if you have these things growing under a double layer of protection, then you can remove one layer off of those things. They can grow under a single layer as of now. Under a double layer of protection, you can grow cilantro, sage, and thyme. All right, moving on to direct sowing with no cover, or removing the cover that you already have, or transplanting seedlings. Now remember, if you are transplanting seedlings, you always have to harden them off. You cannot put plants directly from inside to outside without slowly acclimating them to the outside temperatures and the outside atmosphere. They are used to being in a warm, cozy environment inside the house or wherever you have them inside. And if you just put them outside, they could really go through a lot of shock, and some of them might not make it. So you have to go through a hardening off process before you put your transplants outside. So out in the garden, direct sowed, or removing the cover, or transplanting your seedlings, you can have arugula, asparagus crowns, carrots, collards, claytonia, kale, kohlrabi, leeks, lettuce, mash, mizuna, mustards, onion, parsley, peas, raspberries, and spinach. All of those things can be outside as of now under no cover, or you can start direct sowing some of those things outside now. And that is it for zone 6. So moving on to zone 5, what we can plant indoors as of now, we can still plant basil, bok choy, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, eggplant, mizuna, mustards, peppers, sage, sorrel, thyme, tomatillos, and tomatoes. Those things can all be planted inside right now. Anything else should have already been started. So let's move on. Outside under a single layer of protection. You can direct sow these things under a single layer of protection. You can transplant them out under a single layer of protection, or you can remove one layer of protection if you have them under a double layer. Okay, so that's going to be arugula, beets, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, carrots, chives, collards, claytonia, dill, endive, horseradish, kale, kohlrabi, leeks, lettuce, mash, mizuna, mustard, onion, parsley, peas, potatoes, radish, rutabaga, sorrel, spinach, Swiss chard, and turnips. All of those things can be outside under a single layer of protection. And if you already have them growing outside under double layer, then you can remove one layer and they can now be under a single layer. Outside under a double layer of protection, you can have bok choy, cilantro, oregano, radicchio, sage, salsify, and thyme. Now this is going off of the frost date of Mother's Day, which is May 9th. If your zone is warmer, just be mindful, you know what I mean? If it's warm in the day, take the covers off, let them air, don't let them get too hot. And then at night, put those covers back on, okay? And you might have to keep doing that for a while until the temperatures mellow out. So like last night we were down to like 27 degrees, but we won't have too many more of those types of nights, but just be mindful that during the day your temperatures might get up in the 60s, maybe even close to 70s or more, and you want to uncover those plants. But then when it starts to cool off again, definitely put them back under their covers. All right, so I think that's going to do it for this week's planting schedule. And I hope you guys are on track with your planting. I hope you guys are ready to start the season off, because I know I am. I am ready. All right, guys, so thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support. And until next time, the more you know, the more you grow. Bye, guys.